Hello friends, my name is Viren Thakur and welcome to my channel Easy English by Viren Thakur. In today's video we are going to talk about a very important topic, that is creative writing. Do you know what is creative writing? If you want to know, watch this video till the end and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So what is creative writing? As the name suggests, creative writing is a form of writing that goes beyond the traditional realms of normal. Means creative writing is something that is beyond the traditional realms of normal professional and academic or technical forms of writing. Means when you talk about creative writing, you involve your own creation as well as your interpretation. Instead, it includes different genres and styles across a whole range of fields of both fictional and non-fiction writing. Means it includes fictional as well as non-fictional writings, storytelling, playwriting, poetry, prose, journalistic and more. Typically, it can be identified by an emphasis on narrative craft, focusing on elements such as character development, narrative and plot. Means whenever we talk about creative writing, it's an emphasis, it's a kind of focus on narrative craft. Means we are narrating something, focusing on elements such as character development. We make some characters and then develop them. And we also talk about plot, which is very important in any sort of creation, infusing its structure with imagination. We are just making the structure of that particular creation with the help of imagination, invention and story. In this sense, creative writing can technically be considered any writing of contemporary and original composition. In an academic setting, creative writing is typically divided into fiction, poetry or script writing classes with a focus on writing in an original style, not defined by pre-existing structures and genres. Means whenever you are creating something new at that particular time, it's about a focus on writing in an original style and not regarding a defined or pre-existing structure and genres. Means you create your own style, you infuse new dimensions to that, you infuse new imagination to that when you create something new. Now a big question that comes across our mind, that is about what are the different types of creative writing. You know, when we talk about creative writing comes in many forms encompassing a number of genres and style. It has a variety. There are lots of different types of creative writing which can be categorized as fiction or non-fiction. Some of the most popular being biographies, fiction, novels, novellas, short stories, etc. And after that we have speeches, poetry and spoken word, playwriting, script writing, personal essays. All these are the forms of creative writings. And when you want to create something, a sort of creative writing in form of poetry and spoken word, play writing, script writing, personal essays, you have to infuse something new as a content, because if you want to make it a creative one, it must have something like interesting ingredients to it. And when you want to infuse or bring in some important contents in your creative writing, you have to take care of the vocabulary that you are using over there. Transition words should also be used. You have to plan your content. But before that, the most important thing is about reading. If you read and analyze that particular sort of writing, then you'll have a lot of knowledge and information about that particular piece of writing. Because if you have research about that topic, then it will be very nice for you to write and compose something related to creative writing. Now we'll talk about the concept, what makes a good piece of creative writing. First and foremost, it is important to note that there is no predefined description of what it means to create a good piece of writing. As the very name suggests, creative writing is an imaginative process created by the individual with all their quirks and personalities. So it is very important to understand that it is a form of variety. Creative writing doesn't fit one set genre, and therefore there will never be an umbrella definition to describe the perfect piece. So it is very important for us to understand audience. All great stories begin with a target audience in mind, because it is exactly what you need to know in order to really tailor your writing and connect with them. Because when you know about the audience and the likings of audience, then it becomes easy for you to produce your work. Therefore, any creative writer should begin their writing by plotting out exactly who they want to read that work. Once you have this in mind, your writing will naturally begin to take direction and flow in a way that seems appropriate to your audience. It is also very important to know your strength. Quite often, the best stories are those which we can connect to and relate in one or another way to our own lives, or they are stories which seem so authentic that you can imagine it to be about the writer's own life. Now, this doesn't mean that you quite literally have to write about your life, but drawing on knowledge you have about different elements of your lives to give your story some authenticity and more believability. Creativity is important. Creativity is one of the most important elements of creative writing. It's what that sets you apart from other pieces of writing in your genre. Of course, this doesn't demand that you write a tale about a totally fantastical and mythical world with unique creatures, but simply use your creativity to think a little outside the box and put a unique twist on things, using literary devices like metaphors, alliteration, and varied sentence structure to make your work unique and interesting. Push your imagination. One of the great things about creative writing is that there is no definition or rules on how to write. It's much more subjective genre, and one which relies heavily on your own interpretations. Therefore, you should push your imagination to the limits to see what the end result could be. Some of the most interesting pieces of literature are thought-provoking or make us question the writing or world around us. Where could your story take us? What are some techniques used in creative writing? To make their writing stand out, writers often employ several creative writing techniques and literary devices, including character development, the process of creating a well-rounded, realistic character with depth, personality, and clear goals or motivations. Plot development, the story of your piece of writing, how it develops, unfolds, and moves along in time is called plot development. Point of view, the perspective from which a narrative is told. It indicates who is telling the story and how the information is conveyed to the reader. Quite often, writers will play with the point of view of the central character or protagonist. Protagonist means main character or hero of the story, to trick the reader and twist their perspective. Dialogue refers to the speech and conversation characters used to speak to one another. Dialogue and the language choices a character makes can be pivotal. Pivotal means important in helping define their personality. Literary devices such as metaphors, similes, and alliterations to make creative writing more imaginative and descriptive. These are used in a myriad of ways by writers to make their writing more vivid, interesting, and engaging. Now we are all set to talk about how to start creative writing. If you are interested in getting those creative juices flowing and improving your writing crafts, read some of our tips below on how to start creative writing. Read as much as you can. For creative writers, inspiration comes from a whole range of sources, but most commonly from other writers. There is some excellent examples of creative writing throughout history that all writers should be inspired by. Read a variety of genres by different authors to get a real feel for what type of writing you may want to do. Start journaling. Starting a journal can really help to unleash your inner creativity. Getting into the habit of writing each day about literally anything that's preoccupied you that day will help you practice the art of writing. The more regular you journal, the more you will build your confidence. Practice using literary devices. Literary devices such as metaphors, similes, and rhymes can really help you write more vividly, means clearly, and create really descriptive, imaginative scenes. Practice using them regularly and you will soon watch your own creative writing start to flourish. Need some ideas to help you get practicing? Look around your house and pick a random object, then practice using 5 literary devices to describe that same object. See where your creativity can take you. The next one is write, write, and write. When it comes to how to start creative writing, one of the biggest pieces of advice we can offer is to pick up your pen or laptop and start writing. Whether you have a single conversation starter for a character or a complete narrative arc, you will only begin your creative writing journey when you physically do it. Even if you have no idea on what to write, look for writing prompt inspiration from all around you. The more you practice unleashing your creativity, the easier it will be to write over longer periods of time. With that, we come to an end of this video. I hope you have liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Don't forget to share this particular video, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get the notification for the upcoming video. So keep on learning, keep on writing, stay tuned. Bye bye, have a nice time ahead.